Hey everyone, my next guest is Tom Gray. Tom has spent many, many years inside the insurance world in many different seats in a lot of different organizations. He acts as an advisor to lots of folks in the insurance world. So I'm very, very honored to have Tom jump in and share a little bit of a perspective from the insurance world and kind of what they're looking at. I guess, Tom, for us in the body shop world and the OEMs and different stuff, what kind of, this is different. This is different than a catastrophe where everybody's all hands on deck, come respond to a hurricane. This is a little different where people are now trying to remote themselves. But how do you see this impacting the claim, the way the industry is responding to the coronavirus from the insurance perspective, customer perspective? What are you guys seeing out there? What kind of advice can you offer up?
Hey, Ryan, good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's funny. I just spoke with a client this morning about this very issue. Three categories, really. First, what does it mean to the customer? Well, we've been prepared in claims world for a long time for catastrophes, quote unquote. We have CAT teams, actually, that are trained to go out in the event of a hurricane, an earthquake, a flood, a fire, whatever it is, who actually live on site in trailers, Katrina on, you name it. Well, this one's a lot different than that, right? This one is a catastrophe, but we have to understand what our approach is going to be for the customer. What we want to do is we want to be on the scene for the customer. We have to be there. Car accidents are going to happen. When they do, we have to deliver the same promise as before, but this time around, we're going to have to be on the scene virtually. They expect the same quality, the same claim service delivery they've always had, but we have to figure out how to do it virtually.
So you see a big emphasis moving to a more virtual platform is what I'm hearing you say. So handling customers at a distance. I know a lot of shops have concerns, when we handle stuff virtually through a platform like a Snapsheet or anything like that. But you actually see this as the pandemic is actually going to increase that demand at the insurance level. Okay, interesting.
Absolutely, Ryan, because the customer who's had a wrecked vehicle, they're going to have to participate, and they're going to have to be able to use a reliable tool to appraise their vehicle and get that over to someone that's competent that can do a quality repair, unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah, no, that'll be an interesting evolution for a lot of things. So we're looking at would the carriers ever look to the shops to start handling and managing that virtual piece? Will they inherently want to keep it in-house? Any thoughts around that piece of it?
Carriers are going to look to the shops to get very sophisticated as to how they deliver a quality product and service, wing to wing, start to finish. And that includes scheduling, that includes calling, that includes all of the technology that's available to do that.
So if advice for shops are what? Are you saying try and find communication channels that just streamline and simplify and be able to handle customers basically virtually?
Yes.
Is the focus point? Okay.
Yep. Embrace it. And it's going to bring you a lot of revenue with a lot less hassle than what you're getting today. The faster the customer can get their vehicle into you, all right, the faster you can get the parts ordered, and then that customer only has to have one engagement in person. It's already done. It's scheduled, it's contacted, everything's already done. And that's what they're going to be looking for, not just with Corona, but in the future as technology continues to grow. The key thing is that it must be reliable. It must be once and done from a customer-facing standpoint.
Right. That makes sense. So less friction, so frictionless claims, remote claims. I understand that perspective. Okay. Yeah.
Now, from an internal customer-facing standpoint, adjusters are going to be working more and more and more remotely, not just now, but in the future. Especially now, claims managers are probably losing sleep over a room full of empty cubicles with sick people in them. So as the adjuster work from home is going to ramp up, right, faster than ever before, adjusters too, as internal customers, are going to also have to rely on really good products where they don't have a lot of white noise, they don't have a lot of trouble being able to get assignments made, and they have trust in the people that are doing the work to get it done and get it done right the first time from their homes.
So what are you advising these carriers today? Obviously, they're sitting here in a pandemic. They're concerned about the cubicles, people, in basically a big petri dish, if you will.
Hmm.
So are you advising them to start trying to find channels for these adjusters and different folks to work remotely? Is that your advice to those folks today?
Absolutely. And it has been for quite some time. Um, Adjusters need to be trusted and empowered to do their work from wherever they are. This is a perfect example. In the past, claims has tended to want to see adjusters shining faces every day. That's going to change, and it's going to change fast. But that having been said, the leadership has to know and trust and rely on competent tools to provide to their adjusters to get the job done quickly, effectively, and at the best dollar possible.
So what can our body shops and everybody in the repair cycle, this is a time to band together, to have honesty, transparency. We want to lean on the insurance carriers to help the shops get through this struggle. We want the shops to play nice. We want the OEMs to come to the table with better solutions, easier. This is going to be an upheaval to business all around. So from an insurance perspective, what can we expect the insurance companies, like their expectations of the shops? Do we expect any changes to come out of that segment? What does that piece of it look like? I know that's a little bit vague, but.
Well, we do expect changes to come out of the entire platform. As an adjuster, and I've been one for a long, long time, I need to get as much done effectively as quickly as possible. And as we move forward in a virtual environment, I need to have the people who are my vendors handle it. It needs to be seamless and invisible. From the time I push the button to make an assignment, or from the time the assignment is uploaded, until the time I push the button to generate an ACH payment to an account. All that needs to be seamless and invisible to me so I can maximize my ability to satisfy customer needs and get claims closed and off the books as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. What do you think the global impact of this is going to be? Obviously, this is not isolated to the US. The entire globe is being affected by it. What is the mid and long-term outlook for insurance companies and everybody in our industry? What are your thoughts for the future, and how will this change things?
Well, I know that policies are policies and process is process. Whether your insurance policy is in Canada, like Ryan's is, or in the US like mine is, or anywhere else for that matter, it's the same process, okay? And that process, as we get through this, is going to become more and more and more needing automation to run it, to satisfy the promise to the customer, and also to continue to be cost effective and profitable for the carrier.
Makes sense. I like it. So in kind of a little wrap up, Tom, what would you suggest for each of the players in the field to be able to, survive the virus, to work through together? What would be some kind of parting advice that you could offer up to each party?
I would say embrace technology, use tools that are highly stable, that you can count on to get the job done once, and be there behind the scenes, behind the curtain, seamless and invisible, to provide that service to make claims world life easier. That is what we're all going to have to do. We're all going to cooperate, not just now, but from here on out. The game has already changed, and now it's going to change even more.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, I sure appreciate taking the time. I know this is a busy time for you, and I know there's a lot of people looking for your advice. So I appreciate you taking the time to share with us, Tom. And stay healthy. I know Florida is there's a bit of stuff kicking off there in Florida where you're at. So hopefully you and your family stay real healthy. And appreciate you being on the call with me. So
yes, sir, Ryan. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Thanks again. Take care.
Okay, thanks.